your claim that globalization is coming to an end. What phenomena would you point out confirming such thesis?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a big debate about this, and one of the problems with globalization, it's very ephemeral. It's in the air, right? And it has no headquarters. It has no minister of globalization, so it's quite hard to pin down. What I do is I try and measure it in terms of its component parts. So, the flow of people, the flow of finance, the flow of trade, and all those were slowing before the COVID, and now COVID has basically knocked them all down. So in that respect, all the component parts of globalization are fading. Important things like collaboration between countries are also fading big time. So in the past, and this is, if a world is going to be interdependent, you need to have collaboration between countries and regions. And you don't have that anymore. I mean, that was the big disappointment of COVID, is that you had pretty much no collaboration between China, America, Europe, and America, etc. And that, for me, is one of the tests that suggest that we're heading into a kind of a new world order now.
And
I would also say, I mean, in the past, I've kind of, you can measure it in lots of different ways. You can look at what companies are doing, and what big multinationals who've been the carriers of globalization, what they're doing is they're actually investing less abroad. Even though they want people in other countries to buy their goods, they're actually investing less in emerging markets than they used to.
Would it be possible to point out any particular moment of breaking the globalization?
Yeah, so
trend,
I think,
or was it just a gradual fade away?
It's a gradual thing, because it's like macro trends. What happens is that they, big macro trends, they grow and they move along until they start to create side effects, and these side effects themselves cause aggravation. So, for example, the trade war is one event, but things like climate change, which is, climate change hasn't happened with any one event, but we're getting more events now that remind us of climate change, be it fires in Siberia or Australia. Inequality is another one, which doesn't really have anything to do with globalization, because some of the most open economies in the world are very globalized, but they don't have inequality because they use tax policy, for example, to offset that and redistribute.